Hello everyone, today is 19th of July. My name is Sahil and welcome to the newspaper analysis. Guys, in today's video, we will be taking up the analysis of the entire Hindu newspaper as well as some of the articles which are very much relevant for the UPSC examination from the Indian Express explained section. Now, guys, first of all, let's take the overview of the entire newspaper. First of all, the article from the Indian Express, we will be taking it up. It talks about the conjugal rights, and then the next article that we will be taking up from the Indian Express is with respect to the healthcare. Guys, a very important finding has been quoted here which you can utilize. Now guys, taking up the overview of the Hindu newspaper, so this is the page number 1, and here we can see that much of the articles are not very much important for the UPSC, but guys, here into this particular article the intergenerational study has been talked about, which is very much important. We will look into it. Then guys, this particular article talks about a very good case study that you can utilize into your answers. Then guys, the city page, nothing much important with respect to the UPSC has been there. Regional issues, disputes, rising number of cases, etc. are there. You can skip it. Then guys, the editorial section. This particular editorial talks about the diversity into the India, tolerance into the India, specific model society we will be seeing here. Good article. Then guys, this particular article talks about the Afghanistan position. Then guys, into the last few days, many a times we have seen it. Moreover guys, the evolving nature has been discussed. Then guys, this particular article, it is talking about the new draft trafficking bill that is being announced into the parliament. We will see all the provisions which have been here. A good article. Then guys, it is talking about the internal political instability into the Nepal. Guys, you don't need to go too much into the internal political matters. You need to have a broad outlook. Then guys, this particular article talking about the benefits of the lockdown. Then guys, this particular article below one talking about the valuable economy, what it is. We will see all this particular thing. Then guys, going on to the next page, here we can see that the HAL, it is planning for the medium lift chopper. We will see this thing. Then guys, there are other articles which are political, not very much important for our examination. Then guys, this article is talking about the Pegasus spyware. We will see this thing. Then guys, this particular article below one, it is talking about the sedition. Guys, earlier also we have taken up many articles onto the sedition because now the Supreme Court had provided very clearly that the sedition needs to go away from the statute books. Even the Chief Justice of India has talked in a very strong voice against the sedition. Here guys, just the data has been given that 326 sedition cases has been filed between 2014 and 19. Then guys, moving to the next page, here we can see that nothing very much important is there. The political issues are there, not very much important. Then guys, next page, here we can see that the Supreme Court's decision to go into the judicial restraint. We will see that what are the implications. Then guys, here the CUCET has been mentioned, National Testing Agency has been mentioned. We will see this thing. Then guys, here you can see that the civil servants aspirants plea will be heard today into the Supreme Court. Nothing important here guys. The aspirants, they want that the people who have the last attempt into the 2020, they should be given an extra attempt because there were the many problems. Then guys, on to the next page, on to the world. Guys, the flood has been there into the Germany. Fine. Here guys, we can see that the China has denied the politics into the UNESCO. We will see that what it is. Then guys, the other articles are not very much important. Then moving to the next page, today is Monday, so there is a money wise which talks about the investing, etc. Not very much important for the UPSC. Then the sports page, here also nothing very much important. So guys, that is all about today's newspaper overview, and now let's take the newspaper analysis in detail. Now guys, starting up with the today's GS quote. So today we will be taking a quote from Amartya Sen, the Nobel laureate and the welfare economist. He says, I believe that virtually all the problems in the world come from inequality of one kind or the another. So guys, today we see that the problems of the humanity are the poverty, hunger, malnutrition, lack of social justice, and all these particular things are coming from the inequality which has been there into the myriad setups. Sometimes there are the power inequalities, sometimes there are the wealth inequalities, sometimes there are the inequalities in terms of the social statuses, and because of these inequalities, these problems flow. Guys, we can utilize this particular idea into the GS paper number 1, the society and the social issues, social problems, GS paper number 2, the social justice, as well as in GS paper number 4 along with the essay. So please keep it into your mind and please utilize it into your answers. So that is all, and now let's take the newspaper analysis one by one. Now friends, taking up the first article. So this article has been taken up from the Indian Express explained section, and here we will see the issue of conjugal rights into which the Supreme Court will be hearing. And guys, this particular topic or article will be important for our GS paper number 1 under the topics related to the Indian society, because into the Indian society marriage is a kind of an important aspect, as well as in GS paper number 2 the topics related to social justice also. This article will be important. Now guys, before going into the nitty-gritties of this particular article, let's see some of the basic information. Guys, when we talk about the marriage into the India, there are specific laws which guide the aspects such as marriage. Into that, one of the legislation is the Hindu Marriage Act. Now guys, under the Hindu Marriage Act, there is one specific section, that is the section number 9. And this section number 9 talks about the conjugal rights. Now guys, the conjugal rights are the rights which are created by the marriage. Okay, so when a husband and wife will be married, there will be specific rights which they will be getting on each other. For example, there will be the right to cohabitation. Now into the right to cohabitation, they can live together. Fine guys, there can be other rights also, that is the rights with respect to the sexual gratification. There will be the physical gratification, emotional gratification. All such kind of rights will be shared by these two individuals. Fine. Now many times guys, it has been seen that the husband and wife, they might not have the cordial relation, and into this particular capacity, either the husband or the wife, they might live separately. Now guys, into this particular condition, there is a clause, that is the section number 9 into the Hindu Marriage Act, where one party can go to the court and can ask the court that the conjugal rights need to be reinstated, they need to be reinforced, and then the court can order that the husband which is living separately or the wife which is living separately, they need to come back and they need to live together. Into this capacity, the court can pass an order, and if the court's order is not compiled, then the property could be attached of the person who is not compiling with the order. Moreover guys, in this particular decision can be appealed into the High Court as well as Supreme Court. So these are the conjugal rights, the rights between the husband and the wife, the right to live together, cohabitate, and all such kind of things. And if such kind of conjugal rights are not being given, then the person can move to the court. Now guys, this section number 9 has been upheld by the Supreme Court into the Saroj Rani case of 1984. It was said that such kind of rights and their reinforcement is very much necessary to preserve the institution of marriage. Otherwise, such kind of an important social institution will wither away. So this particular thing has happened. Now guys, this particular law is being challenged as that it is violative to the fundamental right to privacy. Now guys, first of all, why it is against to the fundamental right to privacy. Now into this particular direction also, there is some of the background that we need to hear. Guys, there was the Puttaswamy case. Under the Puttaswamy case, it was said that the right to privacy is an inherent and implicit fundamental right under article number 21. And within the privacy, a person has its own scope of freedom, fine, which entails to a wider connotation. And guys, within this scope of privacy, it is being said that if a husband or the wife doesn't want to live with their spouse, it is their own matter of their privacy. And into this, the court should not interfere, court should not pass a kind of an order. So therefore, it is being said that the section number 9 is violative of right to privacy. Moreover guys, there is one more ground also. It has been said that onto the face, it looks that the section number 9 is gender neutral, because the basically conjugal rights are being given to both husband as well as wife. But in reality, this particular provision is more subjugative towards the women, because guys, see, many times it has been seen that in India the patriarchy is very much deep rooted, and because of this particular thing, many a time many of the exploitations of the women, they happen within the house. And because many a times the women, they want to live separately, but guys, even if the woman is living separately, what the husband will do, it will go to the court, will enforce the conjugal rights, and the court will pass an order, and the woman has to come back to the husband. Now when the woman is coming back to the husband, first of all guys, in India the marital rape is not criminalized, and as marital rape is not criminalized, there will be the sexual exploitation of women that can happen. Then guys, after that, the emotional subjugation, physical subjugation also can happen. So therefore, it has been said that the women are the sufferers because of this particular provision. Fine, so therefore it is being challenged. Moreover guys, when we talk about the right to privacy which was given by the Puttaswamy case, much of the debates have opened up actually after that. We have already seen guys that the section number 377 which criminalized the homosexuality, it has already been struck out, because onto the ground of privacy it was said that whatever sexual orientation a person is having, you have no right to say that it is doing a kind of an offense. After that guys, even the scope of the marital rape has also opened up. It has been said that if a woman doesn't want to give the consent, and into that capacity if still husband is forcing himself over the women, then it needs to be considered as a rape. So it is also being considered. Then guys, the conjugal rights is also being questioned, which we are discussing now into this particular article. And after that, the two finger test is also there, which is under the scrutiny. Now the two finger test is a kind of a very kind of a barbaric act, where just by inserting the two fingers into the vagina of the girl, the doctor ascertains that whether the girl has been raped or not. So such kind of basically barbaric practices are existing, and onto the ground of privacy they should not exist. So a challenge has actually been opened up onto a wider context. So guys, into this particular dimension, this particular article becomes important, and the application part will be there in many other aspects also. Please keep it into your mind. So that is all about this particular article, and now we'll be moving to the next article. Now guys, this article has been taken up from the Hindu newspaper, and guys, it is a very good connection that has been made here. Find here a kind of a connect has been made between the mother's health as well as the health of the children. So guys, first of all, let's see it from the very scratch. Guys, what has happened just recently, a study on the intergenerational benefits of the midday meal scheme has been concluded. Now this intergenerational study has been conducted by the researchers from University of Washington and IFPRI, fine, International Food Policy Research Institution. Now friends, it is being provided here that the midday meal scheme is not just a kind of a food entitlement scheme which is having the immediate benefits, rather the long-term benefits of the midday meal scheme are also there. Now guys, first of all, when we talk about the nutritional standards into the India, the condition is not very much good. When we see, guys, actually 1 into every 3 Indian children, they are stunted. Guys, stunted is the height to age ratio. If a person is not heighted enough in comparison to the age, then the child will be called as stunted. Now the stunting is a problem because of the chronic undernutrition. Now for removing the undernutrition, many of the schemes have been started by the government. Midday meal scheme is also assumed to be one. And guys, when we talk about the condition of India, we say that we are passing through a demographic dividend window, and into this demographic dividend, we want that our workforce needs to be healthy. And if they will not be healthy, then this demographic dividend will convert into the demographic disaster. So guys, nutrition is very much important. Now guys, usually what is the focus? The focus of the government is to give the kind of a focus on providing the immediate nutrition to the young children. But guys, for a long time, the nutritionists have said that maternal health and maternal well-being also is very much critically linked to the well-being of the children. And now this particular study has again reaffirmed that particular thing. Now guys, into this particular study, it has been provided that the girls who had access to free lunches provided at the government schools, these girls had the children with a higher height to age ratio than those who did not. Now into this particular study, the intergenerational benefits of the midday meal scheme has been reaffirmed. Guys, it has been provided basically that for 23 years, thus the data has been compiled, and it has been said that by the 2016, this thing was very much clear that into those particular areas, stunting was very much less, in which by 2005 midday meal scheme was implemented. Why? Because suppose there is XYZ area, into this XYZ area in 2005 midday meal scheme got implemented. The women, they got the nutrition here. Now around 2012, 13, 14, 15, they are getting married, and when they got married, when they gave delivery to their own children, the children, they were less stunted. Fine. So this particular impact has been shown by the study onto the intergenerational benefits of the midday meal scheme. Now guys, further it has also been provided that actually the benefits are not much into the quantity. Why? Because it was found that only 6% of the girls between the age of 6 to 10 years, they had benefited from the scheme in 1999, and only by 2011 the budget was given, more budget was given to the midday meal scheme, and then only the expansion got increased, and guys, by 2011 the coverage was 46%. So it has been seen that now in coming 3, 4, 5 years we will see the reduction into the stunting, Why? Because the girls who had got the nutrition after 2011, 12, 13, they will become the mothers in 1 to 3 years. Now guys, you don't need to go too much into the nitty-gritties, but one important thing that we need to keep in our mind from this particular study is this, that now India is under lockdown, and under the lockdown the schools have not been opened up till now, and as the schools have not been opened up, the girls are not getting their midday meals, though government has provided the provisions that the dry rations etc will be given. But guys, into that capacity the girl childs are not being given the food, because you know the deep rooted notion of patriarchy, the kind of discriminations against the girl child and all such kind of things are prevailing. So it is high time that government needs to open up the school, because by this midday meal scheme many of the nutritional problems can be solved. Guys, just if you don't know, the midday meal scheme, it was launched into the 1995, and it provides that children into the government school, they will be provided the free cooked meal with the minimum energy content of 450 kilocalories. So this is this particular article. Fine guys, I hope that you have understood it. Now guys, not just onto the fact, but the implication of this particular news is very much, and you can utilize it greatly into the GS paper number 2 topics related to the hunger. So that is all, and now we'll be moving to the next article. Now guys, this article again has been taken up from the Indian Express, the explained section, and it will be important for GS paper number 2 under the topic related to the social justice health. Now guys, here a very good observation has been made, and the data you can directly utilize into your answers on GS as well as onto the essays. Now guys, see what has happened. A study has been conducted, and the study's name is State of Democracy in South Asia, and it has conducted by the Lok Niti CSDS. Right? Now guys, the Lok Niti CSDS is a very prestigious source which conducts the studies onto the social aspects, social indicators, the basically electoral behaviors, political behaviors, etc. Now guys, it has been provided that when we talk about the India, people believe that the healthcare is a very important thing. And guys, if you see, many a times people are doing the out-of-pocket expenditure for the health also. Fine, nearly 60% of the expenditure onto the health in India, it is out of pocket. Government's budget is approximately 1.3% onto the health. So therefore, a large number of people are dependent onto the private healthcare, and they feel the burnt of the private healthcare sector's high bill. So they believe that the health is important, and the effective health from the government also needs to be there. But guys, when we see the behavior of the voters, then guys, the Lokniti survey has provided that actually less than 1% of voter, they have considered the health as an important consideration while they were voting. So this particular survey was conducted in 2019. Only 1% people vote on to the basis of health, whether it is there into the manifesto of the political party or not. But this particular thing has been seen that actually after the pandemic also, the attitudes have not been changed. Earlier it was assumed that as the first wave, second wave has been so much of disastrous, people will now give more importance to the health. But such thing has not happened. It has been said that the Bihar assembly elections, which were held just after the first wave of the COVID, here it was seen that less than 1% of voters considered health an issue while voting. Fine, so it is not very much different from the earlier situations. Then guys, secondly, it has been provided that in 2021 also, after the during the second wave, the elections were held into the 4 states. Here also, less than 1% of voter considered health as an electoral issue. So guys, we need to make a kind of a change into the voter behavior, into the electoral behavior, and we need to consider that the voting not onto the basis of caste, religion, etc. needs to be there. Rather, it needs to be there onto the developmental indicators. Now guys, here there are some of the other data also. Now, when we talk about the healthcare, a large number of people believe that the healthcare is the responsibility of the government. Fine. Now, all the responsibility of the government, 55% people believes it. 22% believe that most of the responsibility of the health with respect to the government. 12% believe that some of the responsibility with the health is with the government. And very less number of people believe that the responsibility is not. So basically guys, large number of people are expecting the government that it should deliver the health. Then why into the voter behavior such kind of thing is not there? Fine. So this is the issue that has been there. So guys, we can utilize it into our answers related to the GS2 as well as in GS paper number 4 also. There is a topic of attitude, and guys, it has been seen that within the attitude, many a times the people, they might have a favorable attitude towards a thing, but their behavior might be different. So there also you can utilize it. So that is all about this particular article guys, and now we'll be moving to the next article. Now friends, this particular article has been taken up from the Hindu newspaper, and it could be a kind of a good case study which you can give as an example into your answer with respect to the efforts taken by the state to bring the social justice, efforts taken by the state to ensure the well-being for the vulnerable section of our society. Now when we talk about the vulnerable sections or the deprived section, there are the transgenders, and guys, because the states have not given them the fair treatment, they are forced either to beg or to involve into the sexual activities, etc., and all of them are not a kind of a dignified works. But guys, here what has happened, the Odisha government has taken a very good step. Now the Odisha government has came up with an advertisement last month where it was said that the transgender person, they will be appointed as sub inspectors of the police, and into this capacity guys, it has been seen that into the Odisha, large number of transgenders people, they have been into high spirits and they are preparing for the government services. And guys, although onto the face all the transgenders might not be employed into the public police service, but guys, it is a very good example that how some of the state governments are taking the active steps to mainstream the transgenders, and other state governments need also to learn from them. Now guys, many a times we see into the common people also a taboo is there against the transgender people, and this taboo will not be removed until and unless these people will not be mainstreamed. So into the mainstreaming of the transgenders, it is an important step. You can give it into your answers. Moreover guys, there is the name of one NGO also which has been given, and the NGO is Sakha. Now this particular NGO works on to the mainstreaming of the transgender community. So guys, many a times we give the name of the self-help groups, civil societies, NGOs who are working for the betterment of one particular section, so you can utilize it also. So that is all about this particular article, and now we'll be moving to the next article. Now guys, this article taken from the Hindu newspaper, and it will be important for the GS paper number 2 under the topics related to the vulnerable sections. Now guys, it has been provided that as now the parliament is about to convene for the monsoon session, there is one important legislation that will be taken up into the parliament, that is the Trafficking in Person Prevention, Care and Rehabilitation Bill 2021. Right now it is into the draft format. It will be discussed, it will be passed, and if passed, it will converted into an act. So guys, as we talk about the trafficking, the trafficked people, they are one of the most vulnerable sections, so it will be important for GS paper number 2. Now it has been provided that into this particular bill, there are certain things which are good, but there are certain other things which are bad, and here the government needs to more concerned. Fine. So guys, the complete answer for the GS we can see from this article. First of all guys, it has been provided the bill, it aims first of all to prevent and counter the trafficking in person, particularly for the women and children, as well as it all not only needs to prevent their trafficking but also provides for them care, protection and rehabilitation, as well as their rights are also being respective while respecting their rights, as well as supportive legal, economic and social environment also is to be created. So guys, it is where the prevention is there, right is there, social justice is there, so good thing. After that guys, it has been provided that the area where the jurisdiction can be carried to rescue or to safeguard the trafficked people, not only into the India such kind of things could be there, but guys also outside of the India such kind of enforcement could be made. So guys, the jurisdiction or the territorial scope has also been enhanced. Then it has been provided that the anti-trafficking committee at the level of state as well as national level will be established to implement the provisions when it will be passed. So better accountability, better enforceability will also come. So all these are the good provision. But guys, at the same time, there are some of the problematic things which have also emerged. Number one, it has been provided that the investigation into the matters of trafficking has been given to the National Investigating Agency, NIA. Now there are two problems. Problem number one, that NIA is already burdened, and guys, the NIA, it looks into the other investigative matters where the terrorism and all such kind of things are there. So giving such kind of thing to the NIA, first of all, doesn't suits the mandate of the NIA. Secondly, NIA is very much burdened, and then thirdly guys, it is an attack onto the federalism. Why? Because the local enforcement has been removed from the picture. So these are the three problems here. Then guys, the next comes that into this particular bill, the broad definition of victims have been given. Now guys, giving the broad definition to the victims is good, but guys, such wide definition has been given to the victims that even the people who are adult and by consensus who are involved into the sex trade, they will also be considered as the victims. They will be rescued, they will be rehabilitated, and guys, actually all these things will not be bringing the welfare for them, because they themselves have chosen to come into the sex trade. So guys, this is a one particular problematic thing. What it will do, it will end up criminalizing the sex work and victimization of the exploited people. Then next, it has been said that the pornography has also been brought into the definition of sexual exploitation. So guys, even an adult person, if he is consuming the pornography, then it will be the definition of sexual exploitation. So this is a kind of a very overzealous provision. Then guys, the next, it has been provided the reporting of offences is a kind of a mandatory thing, and who will not report, there will be penalties for the non-reporting. Now guys, there are many of the women who are being trafficked, but they are not able to report. Why? Because first of all, awareness is not there, education is not there, they have a fear, as well as even many a times they don't want to report. So guys, now what will happen, the women, first they have been trafficked, now they will be punished because they did not report it. So this particular thing might also be a problem. Then guys, the next thing is that there is also the provision of death penalty. Now the death penalty might be a kind of a overzealous provision with respect to the punishment, and guys, many a time it might be leading to some other problems also. So these are the criticisms which has been provided here, and guys, please do keep it in your mind, because into the coming days it will be again and again be into the news. So you should be having all such kind of content already into your mind. So that is all there, and I believe guys you have understood it. Now we'll move to the next article. Now guys, this article has been taken up again from the Hindu newspaper, and it will be important under the topic related to the GS paper number 1, social issues, GS paper number 2, the social cohesion. Now see, first of all, into this particular article guys, you need to read it with a very careful understanding and careful interpretation, because sometimes guys, the expressions that have been used, they might not be politically very much diplomatic. Is it clear? So such kind of expressions guys, we don't utilize into the UPSC, you know this thing. Now guys, into this article, it has been said that recently the Pew Research survey has happened onto the topic of tolerance in India. Already guys, 2 times we have discussed it also. In one of the Indian Express article, we also see into a detailed way that what this survey was. However, we will again be seeing the highlights. So guys, this Pew Research survey, first of all, it has highlighted that in India a kind of a paradox is existing. Now how this paradox is existing, we'll understand by the help of certain data. Guys, it has been provided that 30,000 people, number one, has been surveyed, and 85% of the Hindus, first of all, they affirm that respecting all religion is very much important, as well as to be truly Indian. So this is a very good thing. Secondly guys, it has also been said that at the same time, 64% of Hindus, they think that it is actually very important to be Hindu to be truly Indian. So Indianness has been equated that you will be Indian if you are Hindu. So guys, this is one particular paradox comes. First we are talking about tolerant, and then we say that if you are Indian, you have to be Hindu. Then guys, secondly, it has been said that it is very important to speak Hindi to be truly Indian. So this is guys again one other disturbing kind of thing that is happening. Then guys, let's see one more paradox. It has been said that 80% across all the religion, now it includes all the religion, they say that respecting other religion is a very important part of their own religious identity. Very good thing. But at the same time guys, it has been provided that when the topic of interreligious marriages, interreligious friendship, keeping the neighbor who are from the other religion into that capacity, people are not very much comfortable. 67% of the Hindus are not comfortable in marrying outside the religion, keeping the friends from the other religion, as well as 80% of the Muslims also believe that their women needs to be stopped, they should not be married outside. So both the communities, both of the two important communities in India, they are having such kind of mindset. So guys, number one, a kind of a paradox emerges that on one hand we say we are tolerant, we believe that respecting other religion is a hallmark of our own religion, but on the other hand our behavior are something different. So this is a paradox. Now guys, though it is not given to this particular article, but from my side, we can add one particular point to bring a kind of a harmony into this paradox. You can say, if you want, you can accept it, otherwise you can reject it also. Guys, when we talk about the models of the different society, there are some distinct models of the society which is there, and into this model, there is the melting pot model. Now guys, into the melting pot model, we see that the people from the different culture, different religion, they come together and they merge up into such a, basically they merge up to such a capacity that guys, nobody holds a kind of a actual consciousness, that they don't hold actual consciousness that what their original religion was, what their original culture was. Everybody melts into a kind of a melting pot. So this is one particular model of society. Then guys, there could be other model of society also, that is the patchwork model. Now, what is a patchwork model? The patchwork model of society is this, that guys, there might be a one particular rug, or there might be a quilt, or there might be a cloth. It is made up of different patches of cloth. Now guys, every patch, it might be of different color, it might be of different texture, but they all have been knitted together. And this particular quilt, when we see it onto a composite sense, it looks very beautiful, it serves all the purposes. So when we talk about the Indian society might not be a melting pot model of society, but it is a patchwork model of society, where there are the, now these all the patches, they are the different religion, they are living together. And that tolerance is to such a capacity that okay, we'll live together, but we will not merge with each other. We will maintain the distinctiveness. And this distinctiveness, now they are also showing when they say that they don't want to marry into the other religion. So guys, our tolerance is based onto the patchwork model of Indian society, where we want to live together but don't want to merge. So this is one of an argument which you can make if somebody asks you that why such a kind of a paradox exists, because some answer has to be given. So guys, this is one aspect, and as I have said that this is one of an interpretation, though it is not provided into the article. If you like this argument, you can provide, otherwise you can refute it also. Now guys, the other thing which has been provided into this particular article, it has been provided that this survey shows that virulent majoritarianism can coexist with the profession of tolerance. So majoritarianism with the tolerance can exist. This particular thing has been provided into this article. So guys, very true. Then guys, next is the concept of skyboxification that has been talked about. Now guys, Michael J. Sandel, who is an American philosopher, has talked about the skyboxification. Now what it is this? Guys, here it has been said that there are, if the people belong to different classes, one is the rich and other is poor, then guys, their habits, their lifestyle, their interactions, they will be completely different. There will be actually no interaction between these two classes. Why? Because the rich classes, their children are going to another school, they are basically, their habits are very much different, they are dining into different kind of places, their entertainment are different. The poor people, their children will go to another school, their entertainment mechanisms will be different. So actually there will be no interaction. Now this skyboxification was seen into the America, where the distinct classes of rich and poor are there. Now guys, when we apply the skyboxification to India, we see that in India even more skyboxification is there, because here not only the class is there, but the caste, religion, they are also there. Particularly the religion, we see that the people belonging to one particular religion, they prefer some specific types of entertainment, some specific places where they intermingle, some specific places where they dine. You know this thing, that many a times the Hindus, they don't want to dine into some of the non-vegetarian resident or facilities. So guys, the skyboxification is prevalent in India also, where the people, they become distinct when the differences come. Here the difference of class, difference of religion makes people apart and interaction becomes less. So this is the thing which has been provided. Now guys, it has been provided that the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, he recognized that there is a central barrier, and this central barrier, it is basically reducing the feeling of nationalism. It is reducing basically the belongingness to with all the people, that we all are the same unit. Why this belongingness is not there? Because there is a separation into the social life that we follow, and this separation comes on many of the grounds. The ground of caste is there, religion is there, class is there, gender is there. Now it has been provided that these particular separations of social life needs not to be there if we want to progress as a nation as a whole. If we want to progress into a collective sense, these things could not be there. So guys, even Dr. B.R. Ambedkar had said that fraternity can be a fact only when there is a nation, and it has been said that without fraternity, equality and liberty will no deeper than the coats of paint. So guys, the fraternity needs to be there, which is a very defining aspect of one's national identity. It brings a kind of a cohesion, it brings a kind of a harmonious living. So all such kind of ideas have been given into this particular article. Fine guys, I hope that you have understood it, and I believe that the ideas which have been given here, you will be utilizing it into your answers. So that is all about this particular article. However guys, sometimes the tone of the article, it becomes such like this that it might not be very much important for your UPSC. So guys, if you are reading it, you need to be very careful onto that aspect. So that is all. And if you have a sociology option, for that this article becomes very much important. So that is, now we'll be moving to the next article. Now guys, this article again taken from the Hindu newspaper, and it will be important for our GS paper number 3. Why? Because guys, under GS paper number 3 there is the topic of economic reforms. Now in 1991 we took the LPG reforms. This is the 2021. So 30 years of the LPG reforms have been completed, and now guys, on to this particular line there will be many of the articles which will be published into many of the newspapers, which will actually critically appraise the Indian economy's achievement over these 30 years. So guys, this is one of the article into that particular light. We will see the ideas which have been given here. Now, first of all guys, it gives the introduction that in 1991 we carried the reform. Why? Because our foreign exchange was very much less. Just 3 weeks of foreign exchange cover we were having. Now we have more than 12 months. Okay, at that point of time there was the balance of payment crisis which was going to happen. Balance of payment crisis is this, guys. Suppose I am importing some goods and I'm exporting some goods. Okay, so when I'm importing, I need to pay them into the foreign currency. Now guys, if I'm importing but I don't have the foreign currency to pay, fine, then guys, it will be the balance of payment crisis. So such kind of crisis was on to the anvil because we have just 3 weeks of foreign currency left to pay for our imports. Now guys, it has been provided that till then, if we see today in 30 years, our foreign exchanges reserves, they have been accumulated. We have more than 12 months of forex cover today. But guys, such improvement is not because our exports have increased. It is not because we have export surplus. Rather, it is because the funds that have come into the India. Now guys, this inflows is coming via the remittances that the people are sending from outside to the India. You know that India is having one of the largest diaspora into the world. So from that remittances, this reserves have been increased. Then guys, it has also been provided that this balance of payment has also been shored up by the portfolio capital. Fine, now the outside countries, they are very much interested into our portfolio markets. They are interested into our share market, and guys, many of the hot money is coming into such kind of markets. So from that also a large money has been coming up. Now guys, it has been provided into this particular article that competitiveness cannot be established by simply reducing the government control over the private sector, which we did in 1991. But we reduced the government control. It has been provided that much more has to be done. What much more has to be done? We need to increase the infrastructure which is being publicly funded. Private research and development needs to be increased. Government needs to be a facilitator towards increasing the country's export competitiveness. So export, research and development, infrastructure, they are also needed to be increased. Then guys, it has been provided most of these ingredients have been present into the case of India's software service exporters. Fine, and because of that India's service export is good, but guys, into the goods manufacturing we have not provided enough of infrastructure, we have not provided enough of funding for the research and development and all such kind of things. So now government needs to think that how our surplus onto the merchandise, onto the goods can be increased. Further guys, it has been provided that though from 1991 to 2012-13 the progress was good, but after the 2016 demonetization, the progress has very much reduced. Even the pandemic had further basically had given a blow on our manufacturing sector, and guys, the output had actually very much contracted. So guys, it has been seen that we are actually not going up, rather we are going down, and there might be a possibility that guys, these crises will further increase. So into this capacity, it has been said that government needs to give the immediate focus. Moreover guys, it has been said that when we talk about the present condition, guys, right now there is also much of the important priorities that are to be taken up. That is, the health system needs to be improved. We have seen into the pandemic that how it is not up to date. Then guys, on to the sanitation, transportation, urban governance, producer services. Fine, okay, all these kind of things are also needed to be improved. The wastages which are being done in terms of the financial expenditures, they are needed to be checked, and only onto the most prudent things the expenditure needs to be carried. So guys, these are suggestions which have been given. Now these most of the suggestions are very much generic, not too much very much specific. So that is all about this particular article, and now we'll be moving to the next article. Now guys, this article again taken from the Hindu, and it talks about the Supreme Court's recent decision, where Supreme Court has provided that the judiciary, it should not interfere too much into the working of the executive. Now guys, first of all, already such kind of article we have taken up earlier. Now first of all, this article will be important for GS paper number 2, the topic of judicial activism and judicial restraint. Judicial activism is when judiciary oversteps its mandate and go either into the domain of executive or legislature, and when it goes into the other domain, we say that judiciary should restrain. So judicial restraint comes here. So guys, this particular verdict or this direction where the Supreme Court had said that we should not interfere into the working of executive, it is an example of a judicial restraint that is being suggested. Now guys, first of all, there is one particular issue that has come here, that the resolve which has been voiced by the Supreme Court, that is we should not interfere, that resolve was given by the division bench of Supreme Court into the month of July. Fine, it has been said that the judiciary should not question the government's COVID-19 policy. Fine, but it is actually going opposite to what government say just 2 months back. And guys, here there were the 3 judges onto the bench. Into this matter there are 2, earlier there were the 3 judges. So it was said by the 3 judge bench into the month of May, it held that the courts cannot be the silent spectators when the constitutional rights of the citizens are infringed by the executive policies. So guys, when the oxygen is not there, court cannot be the silent spectator. When the medicine is not there, court cannot be the silent spectator. So there the 3 judge bench concluded that particular thing. So now the division bench, the 2 judge bench, when it is talking opposite, can such kind of thing can be taken up or not? So such is there the issue. Then guys, further it has been provided that our constitution does not envisage court to be silent spectators when constitutional rights are being infringed. Moreover guys, the judiciary, it needs to exercise the jurisdiction to determine that what policy measures conform to the standards of reasonableness, fairness, as well as they are good for the citizen welfare. And guys, into that capacity, if we see that the judiciary needs to be a silent watchdog, then it will not be good. Moreover guys, it has also been provided that court has assumed a dialogic jurisdiction. Now what is the dialogic jurisdiction? It means that the citizens, they have a problem, they will come to the court. Into the court they will give their dialogues that okay, these is our problem, government is not hearing. Into this thing, the government will also come. Government will also provide their narrative. So this dialogic jurisdiction is being provided by the courts, where the citizens can come, government can come, and they can deliberate that what needs to be way forward. And into this particular direction guys, the judiciary, if it will be a kind of a silent spectator onto the policy which is being carried by the executive, it will not be good. Moreover guys, it has been already provided by our own judiciary that across the globe, their judiciaries, their judges have actually challenged the executive policies when they have violated the rights of the citizens. So into this particular direction, basically the court's direction to the government is not something very much wrong. Now guys, the arguments which we have taken up here, they have already been given by the Supreme Court judges only. Fine. So guys, you can utilize it into your answers if such a question is coming. So that is all about this particular article, friends. I hope you have understood it, and now we'll be moving to the next article. Now guys, this article again taken from the Hindu newspaper. Nothing much important is there into this particular article. Now though the heading might be looking very much interesting, guys, it has been provided that the Hindustan Aeronautical Limited, it is planning a medium lift chopper, because guys, all the 3 services, the basically the air forces, fine, the navy as well as armed forces, it needs the lift choppers for their many of the operations. Into this capacity, the Hindustan Aeronautical Limited is planning for the Indian multi-role helicopter, that is the IMRH, and all the 3 services, they are asked that okay, what are their requirements they need to submit to them. Then guys, it has been provided that with the cost of nearly 10,000 crore rupees, and within next 7 to 10 years, this particular thing will operationalize. So guys, this is just what has been carried here. Fine. Now guys, the nitty-gritties apart from this is not very much important for your examination. So that is all. And by the way, it might be important for our GS paper number 3, indigenization of defense. As a reference only you can put it. So that is all. Now we'll move to the next article. Now guys, this particular article talks about the recent decision by the government there, where the government has decided to hold the CUCET for all the central universities. Now, before going into this particular article, let's see some of the very basic background information. Guys, in India, we have the National Testing Agency. Now, the National Testing Agency has been established as a society under the Indian Societies Registration Act 1860, and actually it is an autonomous body which is responsible for conducting the entrance examination for the admissions fellowships into the higher research institutions. So NTA provides for the examinations, and guys, it looks for the examinations such as the NEET, JEE, CTET, GATE, GPAT, GMAT, CAT, UGC, NEET, and NET, etc. Now guys, into this particular capacity, the National Testing Agency also proposed the CUCET. Actually, government proposed. Government said that there are 45 central universities, and these universities are having their distinct process of admission. For example, into the Delhi University, the admission is on to the basis of marks that you got into the 12th. Then guys, some universities are carrying their kind of own entrance examination. Into some universities, there is an interview, etc. Different ways are there. So it was said that CUCET will be a standard examination for all the 45 universities. Fine. Right now also guys, the CUCET is going on, but there are 14 universities which are carrying this particular examination for the admission. The decision was to include all 45. Now guys, it was said by the student bodies as well as by the colleges that this year has been the pandemic year, and guys, because of many of the problems, logistic problems and other kind of problems, government should not impose the CUCET examination from this particular year. Now into that direction guys, what government had said, now read the heading. Now the government had hold back the CUCET for the central universities. Now guys, the government had said that it will be implemented by 2022-2023. Fine. So this particular thing has happened earlier guys. Into the month of March, it was said by the government that the central universities, they were told that NTA would conduct the CUCET for their admission for both undergraduate as well as for the postgraduate programs. But now this decision has been held. Now NTA will not be holding the CUCET. So guys, for the prelims, what the NTA does, what NTA is, whether it is a kind of a body under the government organization, whether it is an autonomous body, what is the jurisdiction functions, it might be important. So for that thing, please remember all such kind of issues. So that is all about this particular article, and now we'll be moving to the next article. Now guys, this particular article, it is just talking about the Pegasus spyware. Now guys, earlier also we discussed and guys, Pegasus, basically it is a kind of a spyware which infests the mobile phone. It infests both the Android platforms as well as iOS platform, and once it has infested your mobile phone, it can get hold of the data which is there into your mobile, the files, photos, camera. On all of them it can get a hold. So this Pegasus is there. Now guys, the Pegasus, it is developed by the NSO group of Israel, and this NSO group provides this Pegasus to the governments around the world, so that government, if they want to carry the surveillance, they can carry it by this Pegasus spyware. Now guys, it has been said that approximately 40 of the Indian journalists, they have figured into a leaked list of potential targets for surveillance through this Pegasus spyware. So guys, it has been seen that many of these journalists, they belong to the newspapers many a times who are critical on many of the aspects. So guys, the journalists are being targeted. Around the other countries also they have targeted. So just it is talking about here. So guys, nothing much here with respect to the for the elaboration. You just can keep it into your mind and can provide it when the surveillance onto the journalist etc. is being talked about. So that is all, and now we'll be moving to the next article. Now guys, this particular article again taken up from the Hindu International page. Now guys, it is just talking about a spat that is going on between the China and Australia. Now guys, you already might be knowing that there is UNESCO, and UNESCO publishes its list of the World Heritage Sites. Fine. Now it has been said that guys, the Great Barrier Reef, which is into the Australia, it is being moved to the list of sites which are threatened. Fine. Now it has been said, it has been alleged actually by the Australia that the China is forcing such kind of decision. China is saying that the Great Barrier Reef of Australia needs to be put into the list of the sites which are threatened. And guys, into this capacity, it has also been said that the threat to the Great Barrier Reef into the Australia is not from the climate change and all such kind of things. It is because of the inflow of the pollutants that is going into the Great Barrier Reef, and because the pollutants, it is being caused by the Australia, Australia. So guys, single-handedly Australia is being held responsible for the deterioration of the Great Barrier Reef. So guys, here it has been said that the China has denied all such kind of things. You read the heading again. China denies politics behind UNESCO move on barrier reef. So all such kind of thing has happened here. Fine. Now guys, when we see the condition of the Great Barrier Reef, we can see that the Great Barrier Reef has lost half of its coral since 1995, and because of that, the Great Barrier Reef needs to be put onto the list of the World Heritage Sites which are into the danger. Now guys, further into this direction, last year also there was some spat that has happened. So guys, that is just all about this particular article, just a kind of an evolving irritant between China and Australia. So that is all about this article. So guys, that is all for today's newspaper analysis. I believe that you are understanding the initiative and it is serving to be fruitful for your studies. So that is all. Thank you so much.